We took a risk and asked a new farmer to join our farmers cooperative to grow real food for real people. Stay tuned to see who we chose, how they started farming from scratch, and whether their farm is still standing today.
With thousands of subscribers on YouTube, Heifer USA is leading online conversations about regenerative agriculture. Millions of viewers have watched the trainings and live streams we produce and wondered how they can make the switch to full-time regenerative farming. In fact, thousands of people search YouTube every month for success stories of new farmers, like our feature on Derek and Paige Jackson of Grass Grazed Farm. If there's ever been a time to start farming, it's now.
So we wondered, what would it take to turn someone into a full-time regenerative farmer?
At Heifer USA, our mission is to support small-scale American farmers in two ways. First, by educating farmers in regenerative agriculture through in-person and online training, like the YouTube channel you're watching right now. Second, we support farmers by building market opportunities in rural food systems, like our support in establishing Grassroots Farmers Cooperative and expanding Cypress Valley Meat Company. We've helped create a thriving local ecosystem for regenerative farmers here in Arkansas. But what if we ventured further and began creating opportunities in another state? What if we took our regenerative methods, our training programs, our market infrastructure, and put it all to the test? Can we create a brand new full-time farmer? In 2021, Heifer USA brought a new member to the team.
Good morning, how are you?
A new staff member whose job centers around engaging, recruiting, and establishing new farmers.
I'm Ruth Canada. I work for Heifer USA. I am the Outreach Program Officer.
Along with colleagues from Heifer USA and Grassroots, Ruth serves on a project based in Starkville, Mississippi, a college town that previously thrived in agriculture, but has since become a tough place to build a profitable career in farming.
At one point, Mississippi was a very large source of pork production, but several economic downturns, several pork processing plants in the area went away. So many farmers who had land that was just sitting there. Nothing was being done with the land.
There's a lot of forest farmers in this region, and then we have livestock farmers, cattle, small ruminant. Rock cropping was a big thing previously here, but currently not much going on.
Mississippi as a project was selected because of the need in the community to support and empower diverse farmers who often lack access to the major food systems. And Mississippi is also an ideal place for pork production.
That's right. Our goal isn't just to establish a new farmer. It's to establish a new pig farmer. We've seen the popularity of our videos on pastured pork, a regenerative method in which pigs are raised full-time on wooded pastures. Allowing pigs to trample, root, and tear up the ground not only provides a varied diet of nuts, insects, and grasses for the animals, but it also improves land over time. As the pigs move between smaller sections of pasture called paddocks, the land in previously used paddocks has time to rest and regenerate new native grasses and plants. But not everyone has been exposed to pastured pork production. And for folks who only know the industrial method of raising pigs on crowded, unsanitary feedlots, becoming a pig farmer sounds less than ideal.
One of the challenges I've faced with my work in Mississippi is taking away some of the stigma around pork production. The belief that pork production is messy, it's smelly, it's an environmental hazard is only true if you are producing pork the old way of commercial pork with lots of animals clustered in a small space. So one of my jobs is to really talk about why this method of farming is good for the earth.
In addition to convincing potential farmers to take on pastured pork production, Ruth also faced another challenge as she and the Heifer USA team scouted for the perfect candidate.
When you start to talk about engaging in this work, one of the first things they will tell you is that, yeah, we can do all this, but we don't have a market.
For many farmers, finding consistent, profitable market opportunities is the primary obstacle standing in the way of their success. That's where our friends at Grassroots Farmers Cooperative come in. Their thriving e-commerce site serves customers across America who choose to invest in smallholder farms while feeding their own families.
So you got an online presence. that can sustain this particular operation, where people all across the world buys this product and they get this product shipped in, and they're willing to pay a premium because they want to know the farmer, they want to know the food, and that's phenomenal.
Grassroots have each farmer sign a grower's agreement. So the farmer knows at the very beginning of the process how much they're going to get for the product that they're raising. And I think that really takes a lot of the stress away from the farmer, because then they can focus fully on raising healthy animals.
By eliminating major challenges for beginning farmers, Ruth and the Heifer USA team made it as simple as possible for our newest co-op member to start raising pastured pork. All that was left was to actually select a candidate.
The Heifer Grassroots team targeted and selected a farmer, Curtis Snell, who's the owner of You First Farm, and they started Curtis into pastured pork production.
My name is Curtis Snell Sr., and the name of my farm is You First Farm. I looked at this farm in 1976 and said that hopefully one day I would buy it. In 2006, it came available, and that's when we purchased it. I know then I wanted to farm, and when the pigs opportunity came, I looked into it and I really liked it.
With a desire to farm and enough land to raise pastured pork, Curtis seemed like the perfect candidate for our project. Curtis is also a kind, hardworking community leader in Oktibbeha County, and his support system of family and friends stretches across the state of Mississippi. Though he was initially worried about infrastructure and animal management in the regenerative model we proposed, Curtis decided to take a chance on us too. Knowing he would be supported by Heifer USA, Grassroots, and his personal network, Curtis signed on as our first pastured pork producer in Mississippi. Soon, the hard work of turning his land into an operational pig farm began.
The most challenging part of raising pigs to me have been infrastructure.
And that's where Heifer comes in. We help with the fencing, the perimeter fencing, the paddock fencing.
They came in to assist me physically on the ground, helping me get things done. Things that I had no idea how to do. I knew it had to be done, but I didn't know how to get it done.
Over the course of 5 months, teams from Heifer USA and Grassroots made multiple trips to Mississippi to help Curtis design and construct his new farm. With additional help from family and friends, Curtis built a receiving barn where new piglets spend their first few days in a more sheltered environment before moving out to pasture. He laid out 12 paddocks, each measuring between 1 and 1.5 acres, and outfitted each paddock with the electrical wire that prevents pigs from getting out. Together, we worked to source and install feeders and waterers, ensuring Curtis knew how to utilize each piece of equipment on his new pig farm. And finally, Curtis received his first batch of piglets.
And so he started out with 50 feeder pigs. Through that 4-month process, he learned all the care and management of how do you work with pastured pork.
But Curtis wasn't raising these pigs alone. He had a strong support network in our partnership, receiving guidance from fellow pastured pork producers along the way. He also had a whole catalog of instructional training videos to reference right here on the Heifer USA YouTube channel.
Many of those videos walk you through almost every step of pastured pork production.
With ample resources on pastured pork production, Curtis quickly fell in love with the process of raising pigs regeneratively. Partnering with Heifer USA and Grassroots made that process even easier, so Curtis can focus his full attention on raising healthy animals.
That make me feel that I don't have to worry about, can I get it down here, can I get it over here? They already have taken care of that for me. I just need to make sure I can produce the product. And anything I need, they will assist me in any way they can. For as I know, because every time I've called on them, they have. It's a win-win situation in my opinion.
In fact, Curtis had such great success with his first 50 pigs that he's already started to scale up his new business.
I'm raising 150 pigs at this batch. Our goal is to get 400 pigs a year.
In addition to scaling up his own farm operation, Curtis is now helping Heifer USA find more farmers interested in pastured pork production to create a community of regenerative farmers in the Starkville area.
You know, he is so passionate about pork production that Curtis kind of talks pigs every waking minute of the day. But what he has done is to invite people throughout the week into his farm to see how he's doing this. When other people are interested, we bring in tours so they can see how Curtis got started from just a bare landscape to a really high-level pork producer. Bringing on additional producers will allow each of these farmers to work in a more cost-efficient manner.
It is important to have more growers in the area for 3 reasons particularly.
First, the cost of shipping supplies like feed drops considerably when multiple producers order together.
The closest place I can get feed is Alabama. This guy can bring me a load of 15 tons of feed. If he had 3 growers, he could bring all of us 15 tons of feed, and we only pay 1 freight instead of 3.
Second, transporting loads of pigs for processing would be easier, cheaper, and more reliable with additional growers to supply full-grown pigs.
If I got 10 ready and I got 20 that's not, then he take my 10 and go to your farm, the next farm, and get the other 10, and the next farm and get the other 10, now he load.
This system relieves new producers of the pressure of trying to get every single pig to the correct weight before processing. Third, building a community of pastured pork producers within the Starkville region will allow for more resource and knowledge sharing.
If I knew someone that was interested in raising pigs the way that we are doing it, I would encourage them to do it, and I would also let them know, here is my card. Call me at any time. I will be more than happy and willing to share my experience with them. I will be there because if they're successful, I'm successful.
That success is especially important to Curtis, who sees You First Farm as an investment in the future of his family.
I'm at the age now that I need to start leaving something for the children and grandchildren. That's really important to me. My family owns this farm. That makes me feel good because I have a family business that I can leave down to them. And I told them when we started, I didn't start this business for 2 or 3 years. I started to have a lifetime legacy for them to go on.
So far, You First Farm has lived up to its name. Curtis Snell was chosen as our first farmer in Mississippi, but he won't stop there, and neither will we. Heifer USA sees the potential in this area for a thriving agricultural community, using regenerative methods to improve land and improve lives.
From what Mr. Snell is doing, I think if we could have several of the farmers doing this, it will really help them to improve their lives economically, to have a source of income through agriculture. And I think that would be a really, really good thing.
The level of support that Heifer and Grassroots offer, it's almost like you can't fail. If you follow the process, do what you need to do, put things in place, but with the support level that they give you from Grassroots and Heifer, it's just tremendous.
Once you decide to engage in this work, you are supported by a team that's excited to get you going into pork production and to make this a part of your life.
I count this as success. We would not have been a success if it wasn't for Heifer International and Grassroots.
If anyone is interested in pork production in Mississippi, I would definitely suggest that they go to the Heifer USA YouTube channel and look at all the different facets of pork production. I would encourage them to go visit Curtis Snell's farm.
Check out the description of this video to learn how you can get involved in pastured pork production with Heifer USA.